everyone, it's Anthony back with another video, and oh my gosh, it is hot. I just finished with work a little bit ago and decided to do like a quick 20-30 minute workout. So I just finished that. I'm all hot and sweaty and gross, but I'm gonna be going out to have some dinner with some friends here in a couple hours, an hour and a half or so. And I wanted to redo my skincare routine, or at least rinse off, so I thought what better time to do kind of a late, or late afternoon, early evening skincare, get ready with me kind of halfway through the day, just kind of a reset. I'm going to be doing a fairly lengthy morning routine just because I have a couple hours before I'm going to be headed out for the evening. So I'm going to go through kind of my extended morning routine. This is usually my morning routine that I do on the weekends, or maybe even on a day where I am working from home. Then I have that little bit of extra time to have a mask on while I'm checking emails and that type of thing. So we're going to do an AM routine, but in the PM. So this truly is my AM routine, exactly how you'd see it on an extended morning, on a weekend, that type of thing. So I'm gonna do the cleanse in the bathroom, take a shower, rinse off, just kind of freshen up a little bit, and then we'll go through the rest of the routine together. A lot of these products have been mentioned in some of my most recent videos. My last Get Unready With Me video had a lot of these same products, so you're gonna see a lot of the same things, and I'm gonna cruise past those, and if they do pop up, I'll just say, check them out in that Get Unready With Me video. That'll have a little bit more of a breakdown, but for the sake of time, I'm gonna crank through the products that we've already discussed and just hone in on those ones that are key differences for my AM routine. So we're gonna go right in. I'm gonna take this into the shower with me. This is the Keys Soul Care Golden Cleanser. Talked about this during my Get Unready With Me video, so take a look at that if you haven't seen it yet. But Keys Soul Care is coming in with their Golden Cleanser. I'm gonna do that, rinse off. I'm gonna swap out clothes a little bit because I'm a little sweaty, I'm a little gross, so I'm gonna swap out the wardrobe, and I'll be back in a couple of minutes and we'll get through the rest of my AM routine. Bye! All right, so back, just rinsed off, took a quick shower, washed my face with the Keys Soul Care Golden Cleanser. Still kind of, the verdict's out on that one, jury's out on that one, we'll see. But I'm gonna go ahead and move right into the rest of my morning routine. Since we're gonna be talking a little bit about the next step before I put it on, I want to put a little bit of hydration on my face. I can already feel it getting a little bit dry just from getting out of the shower and not putting anything right on. So as per usual, I'm grabbing the Mistian Facial Mist. And so we're just gonna, I think this is the third time it's made its way into a video, and still have a decent amount left, so it might make a couple more appearances before it's all gone, but I just love putting this on right after showering just to get a little bit of hydration into the skin. There's a little bit of sunflower oil in it as well. It's 120 milliliters, comes out in a super fine spray, and it's just really comfortable and hydrating. So I have a few more mists in my stash that are like, come on, hurry up with that one. It's time to try something else, but I really do like it. So since I have some time before I head out for the evening, I'm gonna go ahead and do a couple of masks. So this is a pretty extended morning routine. Like I said, it would not necessarily be this long. Typically, if I'm going right to work or in office and I'm headed out the door, or if I'm just running late or it's just a busy morning, I wouldn't do any masks or anything like that. It would all just be topical product, pretty much cleanser, essence, toner, serum, sunscreen, and that's pretty much it. But since we have some more time, I've worked in a few more items into this routine, so you really can see everything that could make its way into my morning routine. So we're gonna be doing our first mask, and that is from the brand L'Herbiflor. And it is a Taiwanese brand. This is their Green Tea Oxy Balance Clay Mask. So this uses deep sea clay, as well as things like squalane. You've got cocoa seed butter in here. I believe there's jojoba seed oil in here, aloe leaf juice. It's got green tea leaf extract, sodium hyaluronate. I believe there is also ginseng in here as well. So it's kind of this clarifying clay mask, but it has a lot of rich, nourishing, and hydrating ingredients in it, so it kind of hydrates while removing impurities. I thought this would be a good mask to use post-gym too, because I've got that sweat buildup. Sometimes with that sweat buildup and just doing a workout, sometimes I can feel like some dead skin kind of loosening up, and my skin can almost feel kind of gummy or tacky, just because there's so much stuff that's just kind of been sloughed off during that hot workout, just with the heat and the sweat and everything. So I thought a clay mask might be nice after a cleanse, just to kind of remove some additional impurities, but this one's kind of special in that it imparts some hydration as well. So I've been using this for coming up on a month now. I use it about twice a week, and you can see it's a big tub. So a little does go a long way. I'm pretty heavy-handed with my mask applications, but you have 180 milliliters worth of product. That's a huge amount for a mask. So this thing will last and last. Feel free to go all the way down to your neck. Use it, multiple times during the week. Because the clay isn't as like drying and stiff. I need to get a new brush, by the way. Drying and stiff. It's a little bit more comfortable. I don't feel like it dries me out. Like I said, it's more of a hydrating, and with those oils, it can be a little bit nourishing too. And so it's not one of those masks that gets like super stiff on the skin necessarily. It gets a little bit stiff, but not like super hard. So I've been really liking it. It does have a fragrance. It's kind of like a clean, fresh scent, but it's not overpowering. It has like a creaminess to it as well. So let's go ahead and throw this mask on. I really like the packaging too. It's just got like some cute little artistry on it. All of the Herbiflora mask pack, the sheet masks, they make some sheet masks that I did a review for on Glowy Co. So take a look at that if you're interested. They used local artists to do the designs for each of their masks. So, and I think all of their products have used local Taiwanese artists, and it's really, really cool. Take a look. I'll put a link down below for all the stuff we're talking about, but take a look at it if you haven't gotten a chance to check it out, because it's just such an interesting and unique brand. But yeah, you can see I tend to go pretty generous with my mask applications. I like clay masks for my skin type, combination oily skin, especially during the summer, just to help draw out excess oil and just kind of control sebum production and just kind of help regulate things and just have my skin feeling a little bit more smooth and less, potentially greasy. During the winter time, it has been cooling down here in Colorado. I tend to not reach for them as much. I would prefer to go for a more hydrating mask and then kind of rely on my chemical exfoliants. The nice thing about working out from home after work is that I don't have to go in with a cleansing wipe or try to do like a mini routine in the gym, in the locker rooms. Usually when I go to the gym, I finish by going into the locker room and using a cleansing wipe to cleanse off all the sweat and stuff, and then I will usually use like a mist, like a facial mist. I'll do sunscreen after the gym too, but I'll do this kind of like shortened routine just to get me out the door, and then when I get home I'm like, okay, I have to do this right. So I did a heavy application just to kind of layer it up. I've got some time. Like I said, I'm not heading out for probably another hour and a half now. So that's that. That is the Herbiflora Green Tea Oxybalance Clay Mask. Very comfortable on the skin. You can see that it has that kind of creaminess. It really doesn't dry down super, super stiff. Let me let this sit for... How long do you let it sit, Anthony? I'll tell you. I typically just kind of am sitting on my phone and I just wait until I'm bored. 15 to 20 minutes is what the website says. I've probably gone much longer than that, but we'll do it for 20 minutes. Come back after I've rinsed it, let you know how it rinses, just some after effects, and then we'll keep moving through the rest of my morning routine. Bye. All right, so it's been about 17 minutes, 18 minutes, and so you can see it does dry down a little bit, but it's still like very flexible. It's not that cracky, peely, flaky. In fact, you don't even really get any residue after doing that. It's just like a dried lotion kind of feeling. It does have a little bit of like a restriction, but it's like it just feels like there's something on the face. It's not necessarily like making it uncomfortable or tight to speak or do eye gestures and all that stuff. Some of the thicker areas are still wet from where I went a little bit heavy, but I think it's ready to rinse. I just wanted to show real quick what it looked like, what the clay mask looked like after it had dried down. So I'm gonna go ahead and rinse this and I'll be right back. Bye. All right, so back just finished rinsing, so I'm just going to go once over really quickly and gently with reusable cotton pad just to get that surface water off the skin. Usually I pat it in, but for the sake of moving right through this video, just going to do that. So I just use that, just a real once over, just to collect essentially the drips and leaks. So I really like the way that mask feels after my skin's rinsed. It doesn't feel like it's that like kind of dry, almost chalky feel sometimes with clay masks that can leave behind, or that tight sensation. This is just like soft, balanced, a little bit nourished. Oh, do I have it cut? Okay. Soft, nourished, hydrated, a little bit bouncy. I just really like that clay mask. It's super, super approachable for, I think, a variety of skin types. I think those with normal and dry skin might even like the fact that it's got those oils in it as well. But before my skin completely loses that surface water hydration from rinsing, let's move right into my routine so I don't have to do a facial mist. And so I'm using still as my toner. This is the Etude House Sun Jung 5.5 or pH 5.5 relief toner. This is a classic that's been in and out of my routine for a while. Used it once about 3 years ago. I think I might have used it one more time after that, maybe. And now it's back again as part of a paid review that I'm doing for Glowy Co. So that's that. Take a look at the Get Unready With Me video for more details on it, and I'll probably do a little post just to remind people to check out that review once it's posted to Glowy Co. So just a couple of layers of that, press slash slightly pat slash lightly massage in just to get that going, get that hydration up, so we can crank through the rest of the routine. So that's toner, and then I'm also using an essence this morning, even though it's like 5 something. And then the Serums My First Essener is the essence that I'm still using. You'll remember that from the Get Unready. So just a splash or two in the hand. I like this kind of jelly consistency. Has a kind of glycerin-y slash honey kind of scent. It's an interesting scent, but I kind of like it. It's a little bit sweet. So that's that for our essence. We're really going through it. And then, since I have the time, I'm going to be cutting it close, but I'm doing it anyway because I've been trying to challenge myself to use a sheet mask twice a day. Not necessarily for life, but I got this 20-pack of sheet masks from Milano CC. It's their vitamin essence mask. And so I was like, you know what? Since I have this 20-pack, let me see if I see some cumulative benefits of using these twice a day for 10 days. Now, granted, I slacked off over the weekend and didn't use them twice a day. I only did once a day over the weekend, so that adds another day to my trial. So this is now 11 days with these masks, but I still feel like I'm gonna get a pretty good idea of if there's any difference between using these once, twice, or 20 times back to back. Haven't been using any other sheet masks other than these. And I'm happy with the results. They give you some nice hydration, a little bit of brightening, some immediate brightening, and the vitamin C that's in this formulation is going to offer some antioxidant benefit. I talked about it in the Get Unready With Me from a couple days ago, so take a look at that. I mean, the sentiment's the same. They seem nice. I just am not a fan of the mask material. It's a little less refined. I could go with a slightly higher quality. I also noticed that if I haven't shaved within like the day or two, that my little chin and stubble likes to not allow the mask to adhere, whereas, I don't have a ton of, facial hair. Other masks that have like a thicker essence, more serum essence, or if they just have a little bit of a higher quality sheet mask that kind of has that sticker effect, I don't have that issue of constantly needing to push that down. Which I think I've got like 5 more, maybe 5 or 6 more. I'll finish them up, use them back to back, and see if those last 5 or 6 do anything amazing. But now that I'm already 14 or 15 into it, I kind of have a pretty good idea of what we're talking about here. So I'll probably start writing out the review, and then in the next 2 or 3 days, once I wrap that up, kind of do my final thoughts. But you can see, like, I just can't seem to make this piece happy. So that's kind of one of my complaints. But anyway, let me let this sit for a little bit. I'm going to pull that off, tap that in, and then we'll move on with our serums and our moisturizer and sunscreen. All right, bye. Okay, so mask is starting to dry out a little bit. Couldn't keep the chin down, so we're just gonna pull that off. And yeah, I mean, it's fine. I do like the immediate brightening and kind of dewiness that you get from that sheet mask. I can't say if I've necessarily seen like a reduction of hyperpigmentation or some other things that would come along with like a dedicated, you know, intensive either spot treatment vitamin C or all over the face vitamin C. It's kind of, you know, just a general brightening mask. And I wasn't expecting huge results from it, but I guess I might have expected a little bit more from using that same formulation consistently day after day, once or twice a day. So it's fine. You know, it's not life-changing, and there are some other sheet masks that I really do prefer over them, mainly because of the mask material. They're good sheet masks for the price. I think they're fine, but I guess I'm a little bit spoiled with my sheet masks. So anyway, let's move into serums, moisturizer, sunscreen, all that good stuff. So I actually do have a daily vitamin C serum that I am using. I used it this morning, you know, before I went to work. But I'm going to use it again for the purpose of this video. I wouldn't necessarily apply vitamin C twice a day, and I wouldn't necessarily apply vitamin C on top of that vitamin C sheet mask. This is mainly just as a show and tell. Let's talk about texture, consistency, that type of stuff. This wouldn't go in my routine with other vitamin Cs, and like I said, usually just once a day in the AM. And I am using the Drunk Elephant C Firma Fresh Day Serum. There she goes. So there's that. This is from Drunk Elephant, obviously. Originally, it was just called the C Firma Day Serum, but they updated it. So now when you get it, it comes with a little liquid piece in this container, and then you get another little bottle that has the actual ascorbic acid solution in it, or ascorbic acid powder in it. And so you dump the powder into this bottle, close it up, shake the heck out of it, and then you're left with a fresh vitamin C serum when everything's said and done. It's fine. I just finished my full review of it, so I might have to do a separate video review of this since it's time, but I used this product, the original one, back in 2019, and I did like it. It offers some nourishment in the form of marula oil, as well as some other really good antioxidants, including L-ascorbic acid. It's in a 15% concentration. There's also ferulic acid in here, and that's a really good combo, is the L-ascorbic and ferulic. So the formulation's fine. I don't necessarily know if I would consider repurchasing it, especially at the price. I think it's like $78 for 30 milliliters for a 15% vitamin C. Don't really see the deep hyperpigmentation reduction that I normally do see in some really concentrated vitamin C serums, like the one from By Wish Trend. They have a 21.5% vitamin C advanced serum that I really like. This is more in tune with some of the lower concentrations, more gentler formats, like the Good Skin Days Seize the Day serum. It reminds me of that in its benefit as far as brightening. It offers some general brightening, day-to-day upkeep style brightening, vitamin C, kind of mitigating hyperpigmentation, but not diving in and like lightening and kind of buffing and fading out some of the stuff that I currently have that's like deeper set. I have a lot of hyperpigmentation on my jawline and neck from shaving and ingrown hairs and that type of thing, and just general acne scars, you know, sun damage, that type of thing. This is more of like maintenance mode rather than an intensive treatment, and I can get a maintenance mode vitamin C for a lot less. So I'd rather find something that's more watery, absorbs well. Not that this doesn't absorb well, but it has that marula oil, so if you have very oily skin, you might feel that kind of slickness to it. You might not like that. I think it absorbs just fine on my skin and leaves me with kind of a dewy glow or kind of a radiant look, but other people might see that as greasy. So it's just not really worth the price for the use case in my routine. It comes out in just like a pump format. Whoa, I usually do like 1.5, maybe 2 pumps. And then it's like that raising that Drunk Elephant up and down. Fine. And so just massage that in the hands, press and pat. It does leave a little bit of a tack to the skin as well, which is pretty typical for vitamin C serums. I don't mind it. Other people might mind it. And it absorbs just fine. It, like I said, it leaves a little bit of something behind. I'm like trying to like push that tack in, but it's actually, the tackiness is fairly minimal compared to some other vitamin C's that I've used. I'm just gonna do just a tiny bit on the areas where I really have some deep set hyperpigmentation, just to see if that'll help. But I've used it once a couple years ago, used it now. I think I liked it more back then because I didn't have a lot of experience with vitamin C serums. So now that I've tried a whole bunch of them, this one falls a little flat, once again, especially for the price. And I think that whole, we're just gonna talk about it. I try to skip talking about this part of this product, or at least I did for the most part in my review. I think the whole putting the powder next to the fluid part and then mixing it yourself is a little gimmicky, a little tacky, and a little bit silly. If you're formulating and producing your products in a fast enough manner, internationally or no, then you should be able to get them to your customers in a relatively fresh form so they can use them in a decent amount of time. I feel like Drunk Elephant might be playing towards the fact that their products sit on a lot of shelves for a long time and don't actually get into customers' hands super quickly, which can be the case for other vitamin C products too, but I've used other brands like Geek and Gorgeous, By Wish Trend, Soko Glam / Good Skin Days. They all send their products out, you get them, the vitamin C looks totally clear, no issues, and I've used each one of those for 2 months at a time. Granted, I do keep them in and out of the refrigerator, just depending on the situation, but I can use that entire bottle of serum without it ever oxidizing or getting that like brownish, reddish, orangish hue. No issues with that. I use a vitamin C serum pretty much every single day, even if I missed a day or two here and there, no real problem. So that whole, you mix it fresh, and this is the freshest vitamin C. It's like, no, to me it's lazy, to be honest. It's a little lazy, and it doesn't resonate with that high-end price. You know, if I'm gonna give you $78 for a vitamin C serum, I don't wanna have to do all the work, you know? So, I don't know. It's just, me and Drunk Elephant skincare, I try it just because I want to land on something I'll fall in love with, but I really haven't had much luck. There's nothing yet that they have produced from their skincare line that has encouraged me to repurchase it after doing the trial. Usually once I'm done with the month, I'll either finish it up, fine, give it away, but I've never come back to one, unfortunately. So let's move on to my second serum step, and that is going to be in the form of the E-Nature Birch Juice Hydro Serum. This made an appearance in my evening routine. This is just a product that imparts a lot of, you know, decent hydration. It's just kind of like a hydrating serum. I'm another week and a half or so into using it. Haven't really seen too much extra benefit, so refer to the Get Unready with me to hear my thoughts on it, and I'll do my full review once I hit it. I do this in addition to, or I do a hydrating serum in addition to this one, just because this is more of kind of like a light oil almost finish, and I like packing on that more watery, layerable hydration, and this kind of has that jelly look to it and consistency, so it just adds a little bit more of that watery hydration. I use this AM and PM. I'm still shocked that this only has some essential oil derivatives in it, like I think it's like linalool and like maybe one other one, because the scent is pretty potent. Granted, it does dissipate, but that first hit of it is very clean, floral, fresh, and so in my head that was like, this is going to be packed with either synthetic fragrance or essential oils are going to be pretty high up on the ingredients list there, and they're really not. So I'm surprised that they're able to get that aroma from what they did use. It's interesting, and I haven't seen any irritation from it, which is nice. All right, so last couple of steps here. We're just gonna do some eye cream. I do eye cream morning and night for the most part. I'm using the CosRx Advanced Nail Peptide Eye Cream, and then just tap, tap, tap. Really nicely hydrating. Seems to keep some of the dryness and crepiness that I was noticing at bay. and it lasts forever. I've been using this one bottle since, I believe, May. So, and there still seems to be plenty to go. All right, I do just a little tiny hit of my daily moisturizer underneath my sunscreen. So right now I'm using the Etude House Sunjung Hydro Barrier Cream. Evening routine video, take a look for all the details. Also be posting my review of this on Glowy.co. This is a product that is part of a paid review that I'm doing. So I'll just do a little hit of that. Press, press, press. Some days, depending on how my skin's feeling, I will not do a morning moisturizer. I'll go right into my sunscreen. That's very dependent on my skin's condition, if it's feeling dry or normal, or maybe more on the combination side or oily. Just depends on, you know, skin condition, season, weather, that type of thing. But it also depends on the sunscreen. If I'm using a very creamy lotion style sunscreen with some emollient ingredients in it that I know will lock in hydration, then I'll usually skip moisturizer in the morning and just go right into sunscreen. But the sunscreen that I'm currently using, I don't believe has very many of those things because it is in a stick form. And it is one of the first stick sunscreens I've used for my entire face. I've used some of them for just under the eye, but I've never used one for the whole face. And I am using the Abib, or Abib, I think it's Abib, Reflective Packaging Sunscreen. This is their Quick Sun Stick Protection Bar SPF 50 plus PA 4 pluses. You get right around 22 milliliters, it is solid, 0.77 ounces of sunscreen, not very much. And this is a product that was recommended several times by Eunice of Uni Beauty, or I think her channel is just like Uni. Her and Sue Beauty do this like collaborative video series called Uni Sue, and this always pops up on their Olive Young Shop With Me. I've seen her use it all the time. So it is a stick format, kind of a clear stick sunscreen, and it's fine. What I noticed is I have used quite a bit of it, but it hasn't been that long. It's only been like a week, and there's not a ton of product in here. And it's also because it's clear, if you're not in front of a mirror, it's kind of hard to see or remember exactly where you've gotten it. So I'll try to do a very generous layer because you can't really get a good handle on where it's been, where it's not been, and how thick. And then I kind of massage it in just to make sure that I've gotten creases and crevices in my neck and everything. So I tend to go pretty heavy with this just for the sake of caution, just to make sure I'm using enough. And in turn, I think I'm really burning through this stick faster than you normally would. I've been using it pretty much every day, and then doing my reapplication every couple of hours, every few hours. It's been pretty gloomy here in Colorado recently, so I haven't been as good as I have been, and I've been working inside a lot, either in the office or at home. So I haven't been as good. I'll probably get away with like 2 to 3 applications of sunscreen per day, as opposed to like the 4 to 6 I was doing during the summer of like every 2 hours set an alarm on my watch to reapply. So this one probably would go a lot faster for me in the summer, but even still, I feel like I'm using this a lot faster than I normally would, you know, with a cream-based sunscreen or a lotion-based sunscreen. So I just kind of do my best to start. And the other thing, you notice that pull, it kind of yanks at the skin. It's not uncomfortable, but I always try to avoid those types of motions on the skin of my face, that dragging. It feels like you're putting a glue stick on. It's not sticky, but that's kind of the feeling. And like I said, when you don't have a mirror, it's kind of hard to get every single spot. And then I'm like going over it over and over again because I'm like, is that enough? Is that enough? Is that enough? So I tend to like really coat it on. It really doesn't build up necessarily, which is another reason why I'm like comfortable just kind of layering it, because it's not like it gets super heavy. I just worry that I'm not getting where I need to get. And then I'm using kind of the corner of it to like get my eye area. It's just worrisome, this stick format. I don't know if I particularly care for it. I'm looking in the viewfinder a lot right now, sorry. There's no real scent, which is nice. And because it's a chemical sunscreen and it tends to stay in place even when I sweat, I don't get any stinging around the eyes, which is also really nice. When I do the full review, I'll go over all the sunscreen ingredients in here. One good thing that I do like about this is it's super easy to throw in your bag. And then I guess another thing is this stick has kind of that U shape or kind of that bean shape or curve shape. That's a really nice shape for the cheeks, under the eyes, to kind of get that swooping action. So it is contoured in a way that makes it a little bit nicer to apply than if it was just like a round stick. And then you can kind of use that corner to get in the corners of the nose, get around the nose, get the top of the nose. So they did design and formulate this to be a very approachable product from an application standpoint in the shape of it, and in the fact that it doesn't sting or burn, and it's not really heavy or sticky or oily. It's a nice finish too. I feel like I need to just keep going and going and going because I can't see anything and it's a stick. So it's like, okay, do I do one pass? I don't even think in the instructions they say like just one pass is perfect for one layer. And so I get the back of my neck as well, which once again, that shape's really good for. It's going to be getting dark here in like 30 minutes or 20 minutes, but this is for the sake of showing everyone my AM routine. So that's kind of what I do. Like I said, I really tend to go over my skin a lot because I'm just like, is this enough? I want the protection. And so then once I'm done, I just kind of go through and just touch it up just to make sure that I got all the areas that I need to get. And it's nice and smooth and even application. You know, some areas I might have missed that one spot, you know, just that one spot where I might see some burning or some deepening of hyperpigmentation. So that's that. I really like the finish. It feels fine. It leaves a little bit on the fingers as far as a residue, but otherwise it is totally fine. I'm comfortable with it. I am very comfortable reapplying this. I just do some Misty and Mist over it, and then boop, 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 I'm good to go again. And then I just finish with, this is a Duke Cannon Balm 140. This is offensively large I don't like the marketing of this brand, but it's this huge sunscreen, lip sunscreen that's an SPF, what is it? SPF 30 for the lips. The reason I like this particular 140, the reason it says that, is because it has a high melting point. So if it's in your bag or in your car, it has to hit that 140 degrees or thereabouts before it'll start to melt, whereas other lip balms or chapsticks, they just turn to mush, you know, when it gets hotter than 100 or what have you. So this has been perfect for camping, leaving in the tent, bringing with me in my backpack. And I've had it for a long time because it's so big. This is... on camera, it might not look that large, but it is 0.56 ounces of lip balm. So I don't know what a normal size is, but this is just like, I think it's like twice the size. So I'm just keeping an eye on the expiration date. I have until June of 2023. I don't think sunscreen expires upon opening. I think that's like a hard date. Correct me if I'm wrong. So I think I've got some time to finish that one up, but that's my morning routine. This one was a long one. There was 2 masks involved, all sorts of stuff. Like I said, any other day, or if it's just a wake up, let's get going, it's 1 cleanser, tone, essence sometimes, serum, moisturizer sometimes, and sunscreen, and then I'm out the door. So it's a little bit faster. It can be anywhere from 4 to 6 steps depending. So let me know if you have any questions on that routine, you need any clarification on these products or the steps. Let me know what your favorite AM routine products are. If there's a sunscreen you're loving right now, I'm always about trying new sunscreens. I love sunscreen. It's my favorite skincare step. So let me know if you have any recommendations. Also, I'd love to hear recommendations for vitamin C serums. I have my go-tos from the likes of Glow Recipe by Wish Trend, and Good Skin Days, Glow Recipe by Wish Trend are kind of my 3 go-tos right now. I have a couple others. One of them is from a brand called Medicube that Beauty Within recommended, and then I think, the Geek and Gorgeous one is also really good too. So I have my favorites, but I'm always looking to try more. I keep going to the SkinCeuticals site and eyeing up their whatever CE Ferulic or whatever they call it. But that price point just gets me every time I go there with like, today I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna splurge, I'm gonna go for it. And then I'm like hovering over the order button. I'm like, I could get like 4 or 5 of some of my other ones that I already really like. So let me know if I'm missing out, if I need to just go for that SkinCeuticals one, because that really is the gold standard for vitamin C, or do you think I'm okay with what I'm currently using? Leave your comments, questions, everything down below. You'll find links for all the products, links to Instagram, personal blog, all that good stuff. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate your time. And as always, stay glowing. Bye.